Hello, Imaginers. It's Kyla, coaching you to the life and career that you imagined. We're in gorgeous Santa Fe, and we've been skiing the last 24 hours. And something that one of my friends said made me think about something that relates to pursuing the career that you imagined. And that was it sort of an offhand comment that he wasn't going to ski with us because, in his words, the effort was not worth the outcome. And I can certainly relate to that. Skiing takes a lot of effort. It requires a lot of equipment. It requires a lot of discomfort, both the altitude and the just equipment that you're wearing. It requires using parts of your body that you don't use in kind of everyday life, and I'm definitely feeling some of the effects today. But it got me thinking about, when is the sort of effort and reward worth it? And I often thought about how much effort would be required when I worked in corporate America to create this dream career that I imagined. And in my mind, the effort was not really the challenge. It was the fear that I had to overcome and the risk that I had to be willing to accept. And certainly there was some fear yesterday when we were skiing. There was definitely risk in any sort of outdoor athletic activity, but the reward was so worth it. The spring skiing is my very favorite way to ski. I'm my I seem to be someone who is sort of naturally cold, and so I'm usually really cold when I'm skiing, but spring skiing requires so much less equipment in terms of all of the layers that you have to wear. And it was such a beautiful day yesterday here in New Mexico to ski that I felt like there was less effort involved for the payoff. But for him, there was still enough effort that the payoff wasn't worth it. And again, I think about the effort that I used to think was involved in creating the career that I imagined. And what I now know is that what really stood in my way was, again, that fear of, what if I'm not successful doing this? And that was, again, yesterday, something that could have stopped me from skiing. I've skied off and on my whole life, but it's definitely been several years since I have skied. But what I can tell you happened was that sort of muscle memory that we talk about started to kick in. And within a couple runs, it was as if, I had been skiing for a really long time. And that is the same thing that happens when we are pursuing the career that we're really intended for. Although that there is effort that's required on the upfront. Usually it's just kind of rewiring your brain to overcome, again, that fear, that particularly the fear of potentially failing. But again, the reward that happens when you're in sort of that natural state is something that requires so much less effort than we actually imagine. What we create in our brain in terms of what it's going to take and then what it actually takes is usually so much less. And that's what I found yesterday when I was skiing, and that's what I find in this career that I am now experiencing every day, because it is so much of my natural state, because the effort really was to rewire my brain, to overcome that primal fear that I so often talk about. That was really all it took to pursue and be successful in this newfound career. So, on the road to your life and career imagined, I hope that you will consider, what is the actual effort versus the incredible reward? And if I was standing in my natural state, if I was using what we call muscle memory, which often is created by us simply being in our natural abilities, then would it really take the effort that I think it's going to, or would it actually be a lot easier? You know that I am cheering you on to the life and career that you imagine. Go take a small step this week. I promise the reward is absolutely worth it. Take care, everyone.